Welcome to an update for Geir of Jerndalen. Um, this is just prototype testing of some of the systems that I may or may not use. I'm going to refine this a lot more. The UI that you see just next to the character is temporary and it's going to be pulled later on. It's just to explain in this video how the health system works. So firstly we can go up to an obelisk, and since we're not in combat we'll save, and you just get this pop-up saying that it's saved. That's also temporary, but once I start up combat then we cannot save, and can't save over at this one either, but when I end combat we can. The obelisk saves the map and its object ID, which I'm going to be linking to a spawn system soon, and it casts that to the player, so that would be a variable that I'm just going to save. Currently it's not saving any of the variables, so nothing's being serialized to a file. It's just demonstration. Now, so we can get damaged by this cube, and now we're in combat. So the way the health works is that if you have 0 health points, so a health point would be the equivalent of Ratchet's nanotech and Ratchet and Clank, and you have a very limited amount that you just find throughout the map, and you just gradually build up more and more unless you suck at the combat, and then obviously you're not going to have many points of health, which may be unfortunate when you near boss fights. So when you have no health points, this timer, which is currently at 59 out of 100, it plays when you take damage. So it's currently still a work in progress. This is going to change so that way you actually reduce how much you have when you get hit with no runes, no health points, and then the timer gets decreased further and further. So as you can see here, it just goes down by about 17 every time we walk through here. So if you take damage while you're bleeding out, you're going to bleed out faster. So that's when your dodging becomes more necessary, and it's going to get a lot tougher for combat. So the way the timer works is that you can go up to an obelisk, you save, and it regenerates your timer back to 100. The condition is, it just says dead right now because it's just temporary UI, and I'm not actually using it in the main game. You're just going to, as soon as you're dead, you just respawn at the last obelisk you went to. So now that we're back at 100, we can take damage, we start bleeding out. We're over 50, so it doesn't go back down. It doesn't go down any further when we end combat, but we can regenerate it back to 100. So we can just keep walking through. We take damage, bleed out faster. I'm going to have at some point an item that will regenerate you back to that 100, which is just a variable that's like max bleed out currently, and I could have that set as, say, a skill or ability that you can level up at some point in the game, and say instead of 100 it becomes 120. So you've got 12 seconds instead of 10 seconds to bleed out, and maybe in, I don't know, New Game Plus or something, it gets decreased down to 80. So I think that's about everything, really.